Hello guys, Spartan765. Today I'm just doing a disassembly of the bolt of an SKS. This is a special request video. The reason I took it apart and I've been doing it because I'm replacing it with a Murray's spring-loaded SKS firing pin. First step to remove the bolt. So you just take a piece of wood, drill a hole so the bolt pin can come out. Make sure you line it up good in the hole. And just take a punch. If you don't have a punch, your SKS probably came with a gas cleaning port tool or something like this here. Take that, put it right on this pin here, and just give it a good punch. It may take a couple of hits. But it'll come out. Okay, it came off center there. Okay, there we go. Didn't drill the hole good enough. Okay, there. Now it's fine. It will come out kind of difficult. That's normal. Being it is a bolt, it's a pin to hold the firing pin in. Okay. You get that out. Here's your pin. Then, next step is to remove the you can just take the firing pin out. There's your SKS firing pin. Okay, and then the next step is to remove the extractor. Now, you kind of want to be kind of careful with this because you don't want the little spring in there go flying. So just kind of put your finger over here like this. Just kind of pull it back, pull it out, and let it out slowly. There's the bolt body. Take the extractor spring out. If it's stuck in there, doesn't matter. Just leave it in there. It's no big deal worth wrenching it out. But if you got a bunch of gunk and crap in there and you want to get it out, go ahead. There's the extractor. It's also something I would recommend doing. If you change out your firing pin like I'm doing, I'd recommend cleaning out the firing pin hole. Get all the crap out of there. If you got your bolt disassembled, you might as well clean it. I don't know why else you take it apart, except to put a new firing pin in it. But that's how you disassemble a bolt. Now obviously I'll go to the reassembly of the bolt. Obviously put your extractor spring back in. Place your finger over here so your extractor spring doesn't go flying, hit you in the eye or something. Then just push it on just like you took it apart. Just like that. Now you're pretty much fine. Not going to go anywhere. Then if you're putting your original firing pin back in, just put it back in, just like this. And then inside here, you look in the hole. You want to make sure you got a level surface there. To get your there's a flat part. You want to make sure that you get your pin back in there the way it's supposed to be put in there. Okay? See the little how it's this thing right here. See how it's flat? Okay. Here it's kind of. Okay, this part right here, you want to have it level with this. So it's going to look like that on the inside. You don't want to have it twisted the other way. You want to have it like that. Put your firing pin. Well, I'm not going to put that in because I'm putting this one in. Just stick the firing pin in. This is a good demonstration video also if you're replacing your original. It's spring loaded. Spring loadeds are always safer. It's a good firing pin. Pretty durable. But then you do the same thing with your original firing pin. You just, with the spring one, you obviously have to hold it forward when you put this in. Just take your pin, place it like this in their hole. Now, I don't recommend you take apart your bolt like every time you shoot your gun. Like I only do mine about every 1,000 rounds. I'll take it apart, less than that, even maybe about every 2,000, because I usually just squirt Rem oil in there because every time you take this out, it loosens it. I mean, it's designed to be taken apart, but you don't want to take it apart after you shoot like 100 rounds. And just take the pin in there, just tap it in. Yes, you will have to be a little aggressive. I mean, it's a hard pin to get in. Don't worry about that. It was designed that way. You're not going to bend the pin or anything. I mean, you want to take as lightly hits as possible. You don't want to just go like that and smash it in. Make sure it's pretty good in there. If this is flush, that doesn't matter. You need to make sure this is pretty tight up against there. That's a good check. And then just do a function check. Extractor moves. Good. Firing pin. Firing pin moves good. Firing pin looks pretty good. Although one thing I noticed about this is the firing pin hole. Naturally, you get a spring-loaded firing pin. The hole is not gonna. It's not gonna be a. The firing pin's gonna be a little big for the hole. Accuracy-wise, that really isn't gonna matter. That's not gonna do anything really. When you put your firing pin in, yeah, like I said, the hole it'll look a little loose in the hole. That's normal. I mean, some people say that if your firing pin hole is super tight, it'll make your accuracy better. Like you get an inch better groupings at a 500 yards. But you know, the Russian snipers use the Mosin Nagant. If you're familiar with the Mosin Nagant, you will know that firing pin hole is pretty freaking loose, and they had Mosin Nagant snipers in Russian snipers in World War II. That were some of the best snipers in the world using that rifle. So, I mean, unless you're doing, you know, shooting a nickel at 400 yards, you don't really need a super tight firing pin hole. One military rifle that did do the super tight firing pin hole, Swiss K31. I see you could also probably see a couple of problems with this tight firing pin hole. Is you need to clean it more often. Gets dirty, you know, naturally. Nothing wrong with a tight firing pin hole, it's good, but you know, you have to clean it more often. Well, that's it. If you got any more questions on that, send me a message. Anything else you want to tell me to take apart. I'm not going to do a trigger group disassembly video unless I get requested to, and that'll probably have to be a 3-part video because that's pretty lengthy process in disassembling the trigger group. Especially taking the hammer off, that's a pain in the ass. You gotta get a punch under there and like kind of wedge it out. If you guys need me to do a video on that for some reason, then just tell me and I'll make it. But it will be a 3-part video. So, any other questions, comments, feel free to ask. Again, you want to perform a safety and function check every time you take apart a gun. Put it back together. Make sure your extractor works. Good. Firing pin. Good. Just a tip of advice, when you change out any piece, unless you shoot the gun right away, or, you know, don't take the piece and sell it right away. You know, if you haven't shot the gun yet, don't sell the piece. Like, if you buy a new gas piston, that's a perfect example. If you get a gas piston that wasn't machined right and you sell your old one, and you go out to the range, you shoot your new one, and it won't cycle. Well, you just screwed yourself over there. Now you're going to have to spend $50 in a new gas tube to match it. Take your gun out, make sure it shoots before you sell any parts, especially the stock. You know, you want to have the stock installed correctly. Most stocks will require some modification. I know on my Tapco, there's little ribs inside where the barrel sits. I had to grind those down pretty decent to get it to sit well. Any other questions on how to do anything, send me a message. I'll do any video except taking the handguard off the SKS here, because when I did mine, I've taken mine off about 4 times, and drilling that pin out and making a new pin every time and then grinding it isn't the best thing for the gas tube. Cheapest idea is, or the easiest is just to buy a new gas tube if you're not good at gunsmithing. But I am pretty good at gunsmithing and machining, so I just make a new pin, drill the old pin out, make a new pin. It's all good. Again, you got any questions, comments, concerns about any parts in your SKS or anything about this video, feel free to send me one. Spartan765 out.